Well, welcome back. You're still watching Fut-Afrique. We're still giving you your go-to guide for the AFCON that is set to take place next year. This is the show that you really need to make part of your daily bread because we're giving you everything that you need to know in order to enjoy the football that we will be exposed to. We're talking about Group B today. We're talking about the likes of Egypt, Cape Verde, Mozambique, as well as Ghana. Talking about Cape Verde, the past the round of 16 is definitely one thing that they really want to do, Brian. I mean, last AFCON out in Cameroon, we saw them getting to the round of 16, but they got booted out then.
Very interesting nation. We talk about them, just like Mozambique, they're former Mozambican. They're a former Portuguese, colony. They gained their independence in 1975. And if you talk about their qualifying rounds, they try to qualify, fail to do so for most of the time, until eventually qualifying for South Africa in 2013. And how they qualified for this year's competition was very interesting because you always talk about nations that are coming up and nobody really knowing much what they can do and how they're going to be able to come out and fight in a competition proper to get into the competition. And, you know, they had a few players that came in to the party and delivered. They had a total of 8 players, each scoring a goal.
That is insane. That's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. What does that say about the team in itself and how it's made up? Responsibility not for strikers?
But it also, what it shows is that there's massive telepathy. There's understanding within the team as well to say that goals will come from anywhere. You don't have to think about one player in particular who's going to score your goals. So you have a plethora of talent within the team that can be able to score goals. Majority of them could have played for Portugal, but they opted to play for Cape Verde Island. So that's the reason you find them here. They're making a 4th appearance overall, you know, if you talk about their run and how they've been able to get here. They were in a very interesting group as when you talk about how they qualified, you know. They were there alongside Burkina Faso. When you talk about, you know, in fact, you talk about the way they had to go about their business to get to the group itself, to eventually find themselves here. They know Ghana, played against Ghana in 2010. In fact, in 2013, when they played in a competition, they got to the quarterfinals. They were knocked out by Ghana in the quarterfinals. But they're always going to come in as a surprise package in the competition.
I feel like they're underdogs, and they've been underdogs for a while, but they're that dog that actually doesn't bark, but it does bite.
Does have a very good bite if you do allow them space to do so. A man in charge of the team, I mean, he's born in Cape Verde, 53 years of age. So he has been around for the longest of time. And he was also part of the national team between 1991 and 2005. So he comes with a huge history and knowledge and culture understanding of how Cape Verdean football is supposed to be. You know, from a ranking point of view, they are still at least above Mozambique in this group. You know, Mozambique is the lowest ranked team in this group. They're 73rd overall, 14th on the continent. That is talking about Cape Verde Island. But what I'm looking forward to is to see, can they upset the apple cart? Nobody's going to give them a chance to be able to advance in this group.
They're definitely not favorites
of Ghana and Egypt. But I tell you, if you're looking for somebody who's going to spoil the party, it is going to be that.
It will be the Sharks, right? You don't see it coming, but definitely if it gets a grip on you, it's going to bite you. Let's now turn our attention to Egypt. I mean, Egypt, the pharaohs of Egypt. But they had a massive upset in the qualifiers. That's when they lost up against Ethiopia. And I think at that point, people were just like, hold up, what's happening?
What was interesting about that is that you have the battle of the founding members. Battling it out. Ethiopia managed to win the game against
1957.
Egypt. Ethiopia managed to win the match against Egypt, but what is very important for the Egyptians is how they recovered. Because they managed to win. There were 3 players who scored 2 goals each at the top of the charts in the scoring department. But also very key is how they went about their business after that particular loss against the Ethiopians. Ethiopia ended up sitting right at the bottom of their group, didn't qualify. Egyptians managed to book their ticket in the tournament. They've only been unable to be at the AFCON tournament on 8 occasions of the previous 33. If you add this one, the previous 34 would be. Only 8 times have they missed the tournament. 5 of those times they never qualified because they never made the qualification phase. The other 3 they withdrew from the tournament. Record title holders 7 times. They've been won it since 2010. Got close in the last edition in 2021 where they lost via penalties against Senegal. So it is a huge one coming for them.
Time to shine that was.
Oh my word! What a tournament they had. They have been coached by Rui Victoria, the man in charge of the team, Portuguese born. He's a man has managed a lot of good teams. Your Portos of this world, he's been there. Victoria Guimaraes has been there. Benfica as well, before eventually taking charge of the Egyptians. Arrived in 2022 after the AFCON tournament that they played.
I wanted to say that was it the upset that they had at the AFCON of not winning that made them do that whole managerial change?
One of the reasons why they made the change was failing to qualify for the World Cup because they played Senegal again
yes.
and failed to qualify for the World Cup. So it was back-to-back losses against the Senegalese that said, whoa, wait a minute, where are we going? Let's change things around. You know, so that's a reason you find that happening at the moment. I mean, if you look at the coaches that have coached in Egyptian football over the years, when you talk about your root crawl, have been there. So they've had a lot of creme de la creme in the coaching department have been sitting there. We still remember Hassan Shahat still holds a record for having done so well with the Egyptians. The 3 AFCON in a row, who can beat that?
Yeah. I mean, you've got so many statistics and you can go on and on, right? We didn't even talk about Ghana. Just quickly, my producer's going to kill me. Just quickly, if you were to summarize Ghana and what this means for them to be here, 4-time champions of this competition, but what's at stake at this point?
At stake at this point is that we have so much hope for Ghana in 2010 when they managed to promote a lot of players who won the 2009 Under-20 World Cup under the AU. Samuel Nkoum.
They're back.
Your Kwadwa Asama was a part of a team that actually won the tournament. They joined Asamoah Gyan in the tournament. They played in the 2010 AFCON, played in Angola, got to the final, lost against Egypt, got into the World Cup, got to the quarterfinals, almost made the semifinals.
That's where it ended.
That's the story. Can the Black Stars shine again?
That's the big story. Can they shine again? You know that they are a team that really believes in bringing in different coaches, especially European coaches.
Yeah.
So what can they do this time around when they go to the AFCON? Can they make it all the way? Or will it be another sad story for the Ghanaian nation?